The Kamala Harris candidacy is energizing Democrats across the country by just about any metric. New donations, volunteers, memes. They've all exploded on the scene. Here's another metric. Enthusiasm for Harris is also breaking Zoom. Hours after President Biden bowed out of the race and endorsed his VP on Sunday, more than 40,000 people joined a Zoom call for black women supporters, and they raised more than $1.5 million. Another Zoom call for black men drew more than 50,000 supporters the next day. Separate calls followed for young voters, LGBTQ allies, South Asians, and more. And on Thursday, more than 160,000 Harris supporters joined one single Zoom call. That's the most ever. In fact, the company said its engineers had to get involved to avoid a crash. That call was rallying white women for Harris. Now, this is important because a majority of white women have voted for the Republican in every presidential race since 2000. But they have more at stake in this election than ever before, organizers say. Participants in the call included the actress Connie Britton, pop star Pink, who reportedly joined right after a performance, and the soccer star Megan Rapinoe, who said that it was past time for white women to step up.
This is our opportunity to show up not only for ourselves, but for black women. They've given us the whole playbook on how to show up and energize and be organized and really do the right thing and to tap into all of our networks. So let's just follow their lead.
Organizers say they raised $2 million while the call was going on, glitches and all, and they've raised more than $8.5 million in total. It's a staggering amount of money for what we're talking about, getting a bunch of people on a Zoom call, and a staggering amount of energy in a race that had very little over a week ago. Leah Greenberg is the founder and co-executive director of the progressive organizing nonprofit Indivisible. She was on that historic call yesterday, and she joins me now. Leah, good to see you.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
I've been listening to some conservative commentators who've been saying that this enthusiasm is manufactured.
I would invite them to join us on a call like the one we had last night, or at a call like the one for Women for Harris organizing call that's coming up on Monday, where we are going to break Zoom records once again. I can tell you, I'm part of a grassroots network. I've got leaders all over the country. I have not seen excitement like this in years. They are coming out of the woodwork. They are thrilled. They are organizing with the kind of energy that reminds you of the early Obama years. People are feeling such joy, such power, such excitement that the Harris campaign has unleashed. And last night was just one example of that.
One of the interesting things, decisions that the Harris campaign seems to have taken is to speak about the future, to present this optimistic view of the future in contrast to this dystopian, dark vision that Donald Trump seems to offer everyone. And it's working for Kamala Harris. She is someone who smiles a lot. She is someone who laughs a lot. Conservatives are trying to punish her for that. But in fact, she sees a future, and she puts out ads, and she talks to women and says, the future can be ours. It can be quite bright. Talk to me about that.
I think that's absolutely right. I think what a lot of people are feeling right now is that she's unleashed a sense of joy and finding power in joy in this election that a lot of folks, even if they were really determined to beat Donald Trump, did not feel right up until this moment. And I think her bringing together not just that future, but also freedom, right? She is standing for freedom. She's bringing in these themes around her vision is about freedom. Their vision is about Project 2025 and control. Which of these two futures do you want to live in? And that is just an incredibly powerful contrast. And it could be a contrast that would overwhelm people with fear if it wasn't coming from such a joyful messenger.
So let's talk about the things that groups like yours are going to try and overcome in this next election, right? There's people who would otherwise be Democratic voters, but they're sort of sitting on their hands. They're frustrated with some things, including Israel and Gaza. There are people who aren't clear on Project 2025 and abortion and the things that some conservatives want to do, because Donald Trump keeps saying he's got nothing to do with that Project 2025, even though it's written by everybody who ever worked for him. How do you translate Kamala Harris and her joy and her energy and her presentation into getting people out to vote?
What we really find is that we want to have a message that actually can land with all of those groups, right? And it's different variations on the same message, and it's different variations on that question of two possible futures, right? Do you want a future of Project 2025, of MAGA control, of abortion bans, or do you want a future of freedom, of national guarantees of reproductive freedom, of an agenda that actually delivers for all of us. And that basic contrast can land across all of those groups. Now, we're going to want to dig in and get more data over the next couple of weeks, right? Because this has scrambled the map a little bit in terms of what states are in play now, in terms of how voting groups are responding to Kamala Harris's candidacy. But we have got a chance right now to activate and energize people that we did not have on the table before, or that we were having real trouble reaching before. And that includes all of those groups.
As far as women go, white women in particular, there's some people who are sort of sad about the fact that they didn't have the opportunity or take the opportunity when they had a chance to elect a woman president in 2016. So there's that. And there's the fact that now this woman who is running for president is the antidote to something that many people are scared about. Could this be the election in which white women do something that they haven't done in 24 years, that they are going to actually vote for a woman and a Democratic candidate?
Look, Indivisible, our network, it came out of 2016, right, when a lot of women were deeply disappointed to see not only that Hillary Clinton had lost, but that the new president was going to be Donald Trump. And those women, they took their anger, they took their energy, they turned it towards organizing. They realized they needed to organize. And that included quite a lot of white women who had been really surprised by that outcome. And over the last 8 years, they've been organizing, they've been building that power. And what I am hearing from them is that they see in Kamala Harris, they see the chance to not just resist MAGA, to not just resist Trump, but to fundamentally change America and to finally achieve that woman president. And we're going to do that by talking to as many voters as we possibly can over the coming months.
Okay, that's when people say, how do you maintain the enthusiasm? You've actually got a roadmap at the moment. As you said, you want to see some polls over the next few months, but even next few weeks. But even if you didn't see them, you have a plan in 15 states at the moment.
That's right. We've got 15 states that we've identified where we can win the presidency, the Senate, and the House. We are going to go hard in those states. We've actually built out a tool that helps regular people, everyday people, make the difference in this election. So what we are asking people to do is go to indivisible.org. Let us know where you live.
Yep.
We've identified the voters that we need to reach in your neighborhood, like maybe down your block, and you go and you talk to those voters.
You're actually going to set people up who want to say, how do I help? Because that's the question most people have. How do I help? How do I change my future?
That's right. And what I find is people are just getting involved is they think, I'm not a professional. How can I don't know politics very well. How can I actually help? But the beauty of a regular person getting involved is you can reach people who might not trust a political ad, who might not trust a politician. You can reach them because you are their neighbor. You can actually go have a friendly conversation with them. You talk about what's at stake. You might make a difference in a way that no political ad possibly could.
I think that's the way it used to be. Let's see if we can go back to that. The neighbors can talk to neighbors and say, let's talk this through and make a decision together. Leah, thank you for your great work. We appreciate it. Leah Greenberg
Great to be here.
Is the founder and co-executive director of Indivisible. All right, up next, Senator Bernie Sanders joins me live to talk about the future of the 2024 race and why he hasn't yet endorsed Kamala Harris for president. Don't miss it.